In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better, stay safer. Crimson Trace.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, changes to the way NFA trusts work, the latest from the California political machines, and more. Call in now at 866-825-5486. That's 866-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All righty, it is time to do this again. Hey, I'm Tom Gresham. I am your host for the next 3+ hours. We actually do 3 hours, and then we do some more because we call it the after show because it comes, well, as in after the show. That's the strictly online part. A lot of things to talk about today. Last week, I got myself in trouble, as I often do. In this case, we're going to bring in some help because people are asking about the new rules on suppressors and silencers and NFA trust and what does it mean and what am I going to have to do? Is everybody going to have to get their background check done, everybody in the trust? I don't know. But later on, we're going to have somebody who actually does know. They're going to help us out. We're also going to be talking about the efforts in California. I'm going to find out if this is true. What I'm reading is the new laws that they're trying to pass there would essentially get rid of all gun stores in the state. Not that I don't think that the Democrats there would like to do that. I certainly do. And we'll get that information. On the national front, have you been seeing what Hillary Clinton is saying and what now Chelsea Clinton is saying? Chelsea Clinton saying, well, now that Scalia is gone, maybe we can get some gun control passed. No kidding. Right there. Just boom. There it is. Right there. Now that we've gotten rid of that guy, maybe we can get some gun control stuff done. And at every speech, at every town hall, at every appearance, Hillary now it's a major part of her campaign. It's not like this is a plank in her platform. You would almost think this is her platform to attack gun owners. Because you understand, you really can't do anything about guns, but you can't attack the people who own the guns, and you can take guns away from people who own guns. It is an anti-gun owner push. That would be you and your wife and your husband and your son and your daughter and your friends, all those people that own guns. Use them responsibly. She says we must have a gun ban. We have to put back the Clinton gun ban. The ban, somebody pointed out to me this week something I had not thought of. He said, you keep talking about the Clinton gun ban, the crime bill, all of that. He said, but that was 1994 to 2004. He says, there are a lot of people today who do not know what you're talking about. I had not thought of that. InTaught. I never thought of that. Huh. So let's go back. Let's jump into the Wayback Machine. For all of you who now own AR-15 rifles, that is what was banned. That is what Hillary Clinton wants to ban. AR-15 rifles, but not just those. We want to go further than that because their whole thing was we didn't go nearly far enough at the time. So what she wants to do essentially is go after, and she often talks about the Australian model where we ban all semi-automatic firearms and pump shotguns. I'm not making this up. And she says we should seriously look at what they did in Australia as a way to attack gun crime. Gun crime. Now, there's an interesting phrase, don't you think? Crime is crime. If you were mugged, do you care what the tool was? If you were robbed, do you care what the tool was? But they keep a different category there. Somehow, it's worse if the perpetrator is carrying a gun. It's not just crime, it's gun crime. gun crime, the epidemic of gun crime, the epidemic of gun violence. I don't really care, really, I got to tell you, if somebody's whacking on me with a crowbar. I think that's pretty violent. You know, I don't care for that. I don't really make a distinction, I guess, is the thing. So when you hear the term gun crime, you know you are hearing a political agenda being voiced. But, okay, go with that. Let's talk gun crime. Epidemic. Really? How is cutting it in half an epidemic? Over the last 20 years, so-called gun crime is down by 50%, according to not the NRA, the FBI, that other three-letter group. The FBI says that crimes with guns are down by half in 20 years. We have millions more gun owners every year, by the way. And millions of people who carry guns, loaded guns, every day for self-defense. And crime goes down. Wait. Back up. What'd you say, Tom? You mean there are millions more guns and people are carrying loaded guns everywhere? But crime is going down? And crime with guns is at half the rate it was 20 years ago when concealed carry was just getting started? I'll be a son of a gun. Isn't that something we ought to discuss? That's you can look that up. You can go to the Pew Research, get the data on that. They're using FBI stats. You can also go to gunfacts.info, INFO, and get information about that. Crime is down, murder's down, gun crime's down, but we have more guns. Now, I am not going to sit here and tell you that the reason that crime is down and that gun crime is down is that we have more guns. I'm not going to say that because I can't prove that. Well, I can absolutely 100% guarantee prove that more guns does not equal more crime. How can I prove that? Because we have more guns and we don't have more crime. So clearly, all these people who say, well, the more guns you have, the more gun crime you're going to have. No. Well, at least the more guns you have, the more gun accidents you're going to have. No. Not according to the National Safety Council. Well, then the more guns you have, the more kids are going to get killed in gun accidents. No, not that either. Because you see, according to the National Safety Council, which has been keeping these records for more than 50 years, accidental shooting deaths of children are at an all-time low. Not the rate, the actual number. Millions more people. I mean, who knows, 50 million more people over 50 years? Millions more guns, maybe 50 million more guns, more gun owners. And the number of kids who are accidentally killed in firearms accidents, double digits, actually, about half of 100. Any is too many, any is terrible. Got it, understand it, absolutely agree with you. But we're doing something about it. We gun owners are doing something about it. What are we doing? Well, it's called education. Wow, how about that? It's called education. We teach gun safety. Unless we're blocked, unless the gun banners don't want us to teach gun safety, they often will keep the Eddie Eagle gun safety program out of schools. Well, that comes from the NRA. You can't have them teaching gun safety. Okay. So, to satisfy your bigotry, to satisfy your bias against gun owners and the group that they got together, i.e. grassroots group, to satisfy this level of hatred that you have to be able to maintain this righteous indignation that you have, you are willing to put kids at risk. You are willing to rob your children of the opportunity to be safer, to make yourself feel superior. We can't let the NRA come in with gun safety. Well, 20 million kids have been through the Eddie Eagle program, which, oh, by the way, doesn't teach kids how to use guns. What does it teach kids? It teaches them to, don't say it, Tom, don't say it, avoid guns. Yeah, the NRA, teaching kids to avoid guns. Huh, who'd have thunk it? Well, anybody who actually looked at the material. Basically, it's a 4-point program. It's very easy. It's for young kids. If you see a gun, stop. Don't touch. Leave the area. Tell an adult. Tell me what's wrong with that. I don't care if you hate guns. I don't care if you hate gun owners. I don't care if you hate the NRA. Tell me what's wrong with this. If a young child finds a gun, stop. Don't touch the gun. Leave the area. Tell an adult. We've been doing a pretty good job, actually. Crime's down. Gun crime's down. Accidents are down. People are using guns safely, responsibly. They are taking care of themselves. They are stopping crime on a regular, i.e. daily basis with their firearms. And I saw something this morning I thought was brilliant. You may not, okay, I get this. There are going to be some of you who don't like this, but it is a really good tool to have, to pull out. For those who want to say women shouldn't have guns for self-defense, which of course is so condescending. Women shouldn't have guns for self-defense, really? Huh. And then they said, well, do you support a woman's ability to do what she wants with her body? Do you support a woman's choice to do what she wants with her body? And a lot of the gun banning groups, well, of course, we support women's. What about a woman's choice to protect her body? Darn, it's so darn inconvenient when you point out their inconsistencies. Well, that's different. I love it. Well, that's different, which means I got nothing. Oh, man. Hey, if you want to join the conversation, 866-TALK-GUN. As you can tell, it's just open lines. I'm just yakking. I want to talk about some guns. I want to talk about some holsters. I want to talk about some ammo. I want to get your range reports in here. 866-TALK-GUN. Just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. We'll be right back.
You need a good holster. You want something that's comfortable, easy to wear, and both high quality and inexpensive. Check out the Q line from CompTac. The Q line offers superior quality and comfort, plus a modular design that will fit multiple firearms, saving you time and money. With options for concealed carry or range use, the Q line is the quality holster you need. The Q line at comp-tac.com.
Two things intimidate most new shooters: noise and recoil. Well, at silencershop.com, we turn this into this. Adding a quality suppressor to your pistol or rifle doesn't just make your gun quiet. It reduces muzzle flip and recoil, making your gun easier to shoot and more accurate. The only thing you have to lose is all that noise.
How about the camo pants? Can I lose them too?
Yeah, okay. Put a silencer on your gun and have some fun with silencershop.com, making the world a quieter place.
Want to customize the look of your firearm and give it ultimate durability? Well, don't paint it, Cerakote it. Cerakote is a spray-on ceramic polymer coating that uses state-of-the-art technology to achieve superior abrasion resistance and corrosion protection. Field-proven and trusted by manufacturers and gun owners like you, Cerakote is the industry's unmatched performance leader. In lab testing and real-world applications, Cerakote outperforms the competition every time. See for yourself and find a local certified applicator near you at Cerakote.com. Choose the best. Choose Cerakote and finish strong.
You like free stuff, right? You like good deals, and you want more guns, ammo, and accessories. So get all of that with the free, yes, the free smartphone app, Gun Dealio. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you'll get special offers and deals when you walk into a gun store. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Who wouldn't want that? Gun Dealio at the App Store and Google Play. GunDealio.com.
Experts agree that the low-range variable rifle scope is best for most situations. Now, Trijicon offers a stunning 1-to-6 power variable in the AccuPoint line. Featuring a battery-free illuminated reticle, superior glass clarity, and rugged construction, it's the one scope you need for hunting and competition. Long eye relief, aircraft-grade aluminum housing, manual brightness override. See the 1 to 6 power AccuPoint at Trijicon.com. Trijicon.com.
All right, just got an email from Marv in Houston. Marv, I love the idea. He says, throw this one out here. Of course, Marv's in hurricane country, like I am. He says, throw this one out. Says, you're somewhere in hurricane country. You're near the coast. A hurricane is coming. It's a bad one. You're going to have to evacuate. You can take only 2 guns. That's evil, Marv. I love it. You can take only 2 guns with you for the upcoming evacuation emergency. What do you take? Not talking about which ones do you take and leave the rest of them to be flooded. That's not the deal here. You can take 2 guns with you on the road for the emergency, whatever. Which one are you going to take? I like it. I got to give that some thought. 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. Line 3, Chris is in Florence, Alabama. Hey, Chris, what you thinking about Hillary's efforts?
I think Hillary is silly, and I think she's a protectionist, and I don't know who she's protecting, but it's not individual rights and freedoms. I think she's going to attack any good American values and their right to their God-given right to self-defense. Let's face it, people die every day of car accidents, drunk driving. We're going to ban everything. That's my question. Should we ban everything that can cause a death?
You know, I appreciate the call, Chris. It's one of those things I hear people say. They draw the comparison to medical mistakes and deaths by doctors or car accidents and all. And I think when we do that, we fall into a trap that is set out there. We accept their premise that they're actually trying to do something about gun deaths or gun crime or accidents. And at its core, I don't think they are at all. I actually don't think that has much to do with what they're doing. I think you have to turn it around. Instead of trying to draw analogies, and most people will just discount them, you have to just charge in and say, look, your goal is to disarm America. And they'll say, oh, no, we don't want to take anybody's guns away. Well, that's an utter lie. Of course you do. They want to ban big guns, 50 calibers. They want to ban small guns, Saturday night specials. They want to ban ugly guns, black guns that look like they came from the military, even though they didn't. They want to ban guns that shoot too fast. They want to ban guns that are ergonomically designed and easy to shoot. Each time, slice, slice, slice. Oh, and then I love this. You have to listen for this because it's very carefully crafted. President Obama doesn't want to take away all your guns. Did you hear it? Did you catch it when it went by? Because it goes by quickly. President Obama does not want to take away all your guns. All your guns. He just wants to take away the ones he can take away now. Hillary doesn't want to take away all your guns. She just wants the ones that she can get now. And then, and here's her theme for this week, and she says, you got to love this one. I'll give her credit for this. I do think she's a lying, cheating criminal. I do believe that in my core. But on one thing, she is utterly honest, where she said this week, I will spend every minute of my presidency working to change the gun culture in America. What that tells me is that is the most important thing on her mind when she becomes president. I will spend every minute of my presidency working to change the gun culture. Gun culture. Interesting phrase in America. Gun culture. In other words, demonizing gun owners, marginalizing gun ownership, holding it up to ridicule, making sure that we can make you look like crazy criminals. I just saw an article today. They showed a picture. They said, basically typical gun owner, right? With a full face mask, 2 pistols crossed across his chest, in full battle gear, and the label, it was a Shutterstock stock photo, not a news photo, stock photo, but it was labeled American gun owner who was willing to protect gun rights. I mean, look like a terrorist. They want you to be viewed by your neighbors as a terrorist. They want to be able to say, if you're on the no-fly list, you can't own a gun, which means you have no due process. You can't go to court and challenge it. Somebody you never talked to, who doesn't know you, who's never met you, who is in some place where you don't even know where it is, puts you on a list. You don't know how you got on. You don't know what it takes to get off. You don't know how long you've been on the list. But by virtue of some nameless, faceless bureaucrat adding your name to a list, you lose your constitutional gun rights. Yeah, like Jane N said a couple of weeks ago, a good point, Jim, where her super liberal neighbor said, but if something happens, you guys will come, you've got guns, you'll come help us. I thought Charlton Heston had the best comeback for that during the riots in L.A. many years ago. And the looters were going down the street, burning places, burning buildings, tearing up things. And one of his Hollywood buddies called and says, "Hey, Chuck." "Yeah?" He says, "You got guns?" He says, "Yeah." He says, they're coming this way, man." He says, Can I borrow a gun?" Chuck says, "No, man." He says, you supported the 15-day waiting period. He says, "I suggest you go down, fill out your paperwork, and wait 15 days. See how that works out." If you're not willing to take care of yourself, how dare you ask someone else to do it for you, while you are demonizing them, marginalizing them, and making fun of them for having the guns they need to protect themselves, and that you want them to use to help you. "Oh yeah, but they're crazies. Those are conservative gun owners."
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Irony, dripping with irony, or maybe unintended consequences, or maybe I just am taking so much pleasure in what's going on. The announcement this week that some people are upset with the whole announcement of Harriet Tubman. It's going to replace Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill. But wait, slow down. Harriet Tubman. We're going to replace a Democrat with a Republican. Harriet Tubman was a Republican. Oh, yeah. And Harriet Tubman was a concealed carry person. Yes, when she was freeing slaves and taking care of slaves and getting them away from their slave owners, she carried a gun. She had a small revolver that she carried, but she also is known to have used long guns. Somebody said, well, maybe she was the original Black Lives Matter. Could be. But, so what we're going to get, and this is going to drive them crazy once they figure this out, what we're going to get is a Republican gun owner, concealed carry person on the $20 bill. I am absolutely okay with that. It doesn't bother me. I just think that's cool. All right, line one. Charles is with us. Tacoma, Washington. What did you buy, Charles?
Well, Tom, you great enabler, you. I heard you talking about the Ruger American pistol, so I zoomed right out. And my gun shop, I was getting the 45. My gun shop only had the 9, Well, I was there. I had the money. The gun was there, so I walked out with a 9. And
Okay.
that I think these folks may have out-Glocked Glock. That thing feels so good in the hand. And even the magazine, it's, I think, Teflon. Oh, it feels good.
Have you shot it?
So good. And that thing will shoot better than I can. I put about a couple hundred rounds through it, and it'll just chew up a 10 ring out to 20, 30 feet, which is all I ever shoot.
Well, you know, I know that I'd be curious in your reaction, because my reaction the first time I shot, literally, we went out to the range. We were going to do some TV with it, and had the crew setting up in the back range and outdoor range. And I said, guys, put your ears on. I got to run down here because I've never shot this gun before. And I walked down close to the berm. I was just going to shoot a half a dozen rounds into the berm, pick out a clod of dirt there. I shot one shot and I stopped. And quite literally, the word just came out of my mouth. I just went, oh. I mean, the first time I shot it was kind of like, oh, that's different. It's like there was, soft is the word that comes to mind. It was a 9mm. It shoots soft. Now, is that what you experienced?
Yeah, indeed. It just feels like a steady pushback, maybe because of the way it's designed. It reminds me of the 45 caliber Ruger I had, like I think it was a P97, and that just felt so good. Just a kind of a straight back push, not much flip. I'm really waiting for them to make a subcompact, compact, and aftermarket folks to jump in. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I think the Ruger American, and I'm liking the 9, man. I will tell you, as much as I like 45s for self-defense and for target practice, it's pretty hard to argue with the 9, honestly. And they shoot so nice. This is, it's a heck of a gun, and it's a heck of a value. I think you scored. I think actually you got lucky, Charles, that they did not have the 45. Not that it's not a fine gun, but you know what that means now? That means that you now get to buy a 45 too.
Well, yeah, I'm going to have to do that.
Okay. Hey, thanks for the range report. That is a great report. I appreciate that. Neil's on too. He's in Golden Shores, Arizona. Hey, Neil, what you thinking here?
Hey, Tom, thanks for taking my call. I think I'd rather have the 40 caliber. You still got the round capacity, but a little bit more punch than the 9.
Yeah, but you know what you also get is you get a considerably snappier recoil, and it's not as much fun to shoot. And there is quite literally no difference in stopping power between a 9 and a 40, or even a 45. So there's just no difference at all. I'd rather have the extra rounds.
Now you were talking about the drop in crime in the last however many years it's been. Is it or is it not true that the drop in crime mainly has occurred in the places where they've made it legal for people to carry concealed?
It's actually happened almost everywhere. The one, we're getting a couple of anomalies. Chicago, of course, being an anomaly in the last year or two. But, of course, Chicago is not exactly a pro-gun area. But they have some other issues. But generally speaking, yeah, and I know what you're saying. People say, well, in areas where it's more gun-friendly, the crime's gone down. Actually, the crime's gone down everywhere because what's happened, and here's the great part, everywhere, at least for concealed carry, everywhere is to some extent gun-friendly, or at least friendlier than it used to be, with the possible exceptions of, say, New Jersey and a couple of New England states. And obviously California is kind of hit or miss. But, 20 years ago, you had maybe, 5, 6 states where you had concealed carry. Now you've got it easy concealed carry in more than 40 states, and at least on the books in all states, but it's not in reality. But I hear what you're saying, but actually I just think probably pretty much everywhere gun violence is down 50% in 20 years. Stunning. Ron, Reno in line 4. Hey, Ron, how you?
Hey, Tom, I'm interested in a Ruger suppressor they're just coming out with. Have you got any thought about that?
We're waiting to get one, and I think maybe in 1, 2, 3 weeks we'll be shooting a Ruger suppressor. So I will have a lot better idea. Unfortunately, with the laws, they can't just say, well, here, we'll overnight you one, and you can take it out and shoot it. You just can't do that. So we're waiting on one also. In fact, they're probably, I'm about to get on my horse. I keep telling people, you got to do this, and then I didn't do it. I'm about to get on my horse and buy several suppressors to get all that done before the new regs come in on the truss, because we've got a truss set up that we put everything in. And so I'm going to get all those orders in before the deadline on that. We'll be talking about that a good bit more in the third hour, where we talk about the new rules on suppressors. So that will take care of that. Hey, I appreciate the call. Have you considered getting a suppressor? Are you putting any on order? Have you looked into it? Do you not care? Where are you? There are a whole lot more people now who are interested in suppressors than ever before. It makes sense. All you have to do is shoot one. Or, you know what? Go to a range where several people are shooting suppressed, and then one guy on the end is using his mega blaster, and you keep looking at him like, dude, hold it down over there. You just got to get one. 866-TALK-GUN.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
FN handguns bear the DNA of legends, of John Browning, the father of modern firearms, of the artisans and craftsmen who brought his genius to life, of the brave souls who defended our freedom on the front lines for the last 100 years, and the brave souls who defend it on the home front today. FN handguns, the DNA of legends in the palm of your hand. Ask for FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
I'm just as good as these guys. When will I get my chance to prove it?
Your chance is now. American Marksman is a nationwide series of target shooting competitions designed to give you your big break. Think you've got what it takes to go home with $50,000? Visit ammarksman.com to register today. That's ammarksman.com. American Marksman. Are you the one?
Alrighty, 866-TALK-GUN gets you in there. I'm Tom Gresham. Also, of course, we have not just radio show. We do television right now this week on Gun Talk Television. We've got the whole show on the Black Hills Cowboys, shooting the cowboy action loads. We had so much fun doing that with Jeff Hoffman from Black Hills Ammo. Jeff is just, he's a kid. He's a good businessman and loader and shooter and police officer and all of that. He's the sniper on the local team. But you just get him out at the range and he'll shoot anything. He's just having fun. He's giggling while he's shooting. You're going to love it. Check it out. That's on Sportsman Channel. Also on Guns and Gear this week, we're shooting Stag Arms, ARs, Laser Lights, Mighty Mouse laser. It's a hoot. We're shooting suppressed stuff from Smith & Wesson, just having a bunch of fun. Springfield Armories, Operator 1911s, all on Sportsman Channel. Check that out. All righty, let's see here. Go down to Tom on line 3. He's in Houston. Hey, Tom, what's happening?
Hello, Tom. It's good to talk to you. I don't get to talk to you because we listen on delay here, and I'm constantly forgetting to call in the middle of the afternoon. But
I'm glad you remembered.
Yes, sir. Well, it's been on my mind, and it keeps slipping my mind as I blow out more candles, more things start slipping. So, but you're doing the range reports all the time, and I want to suggest we do a different flavor. I'm going to do a real world report. Back, and I hope you've been here, with you being in Louisiana. We have the Houston Livestock and Rodeo every year. And this year, the powers that be, about 5 days before the barbecue kicked off, announced that they would not allow open or concealed carry on the grounds. Okay? And the reason being is because the people who are scared of guns called and rang their bell more than the people who don't worry about being scared about guns. And my point being is that we need to start being on offense more and more often, whether it's for the livestock show, whether it's for the state fair, whether it's for car swap meet or whatever. There's no reason that I should not be able to have my weapon if I'm carrying in the legal status. And
well, I agree with you. Let me jump in here on this, Tom, because part of what's happening, being right there in Texas, is once Texas passed the open carry, and now you've got the 30-06 signs and 30-07 signs that they put up to block concealed or open carry, more and more places started deciding to go with make themselves no-gun zones. Now, in the case of a rodeo, I think you're probably right. Somebody got a hold of them and said, hey, guys, you got to put the signs up. Or maybe even what sometimes happens is their insurance company says, hey, guys, you got to do this. And nobody running the event has the guts to tell the insurance company, up yours, we're not doing that. And if you don't like it, we'll get somebody else to insure it. And you'll lose all that revenue. But to your point, I am reminded of 40 years ago, maybe longer than that, when the American Sportsman Show was running on ABC TV. And it was a great show. I mean, they spent tons of money going all around the world, showing hunting. And it was sponsored by Chevy, not Chevy truck, but just Chevrolet. One year, we're talking 6, 7, 8 years into the show. One year, an anti-hunting group got together and had their members send something on the order of 5,000 postcards and letters. This is before email. Not to ABC television, but to Chevrolet. And they all had basically the same message, which was this: I will never buy another Chevrolet as long as you sponsor that killing program. Done. Toast. Over. The money went away. Now, there were millions of people who loved that show, but they never said thank you. They never wrote to Chevrolet and said, hey, we really appreciate you sponsoring this show. They sat there on their duffs. They watched the show. They never said boo squat about it. And a tiny little group got it taken off the air. In the case of this rodeo, I would think I would want to go to some of the sponsors of the rodeo. You got to know that there are some of the people who sponsor the rodeo. The big donors, the big outfits are probably pro-gun. And get them together and say, let's go have a sit-down. Here's the deal. We're spending $100,000 to be a part of your rodeo. We won't do that next year if these signs are still up. Or we don't like this, with the unstated but implied message of, we're not comfortable with this. We don't want you blocking people who are legal to carry from being in there, because now all that means is people who are not legal to carry can carry in there because they're not going to obey the stupid signs anyway. It's time for rodeo goers in Houston to get together, get off their duffs, make their voices heard. Get 10,000 messages coming to them. I guarantee you they will listen to you. All right, back with you. Let's go straight to the phones. Jeff's in Knoxville, Tennessee on one. Hey, Jeff, range report for me.
Yes, sir, I do. One that I'm kind of proud of. Over the last, 4 years or so, I've taken probably 20 new shooters, introduced them to the sport. Most of them female, just because I like females. That's another story.
Okay.
But my brother, we go to eat breakfast every Sunday, and I always carry, and the conversation usually comes to the lies that come out about guns and whatnot. My brother's retired military, retired Army, 2 tours of Vietnam. He's been out for many years now. Hadn't shot a handgun in I don't know how long. And he wanted me to take him to the range. It's almost like a new shooter. I thought, Army, no problem. You know, he's got the experience. And it was a chore. We went to the range 3-4 times a week whenever I was off.
Wow.
Got him to where he zeroed in. He was getting good at it. He eventually got his carry permit. And you talk about being an enabler. Over the last month, he has bought 3 more handguns, a 380, another 9. He's always had a 9, and a Glock 23 like what I carry, and an AR-15.
Wow. Well, you know, it occurs to me, let me ask you a question, because one of the things I think sometimes happens is people, they don't support defense with a handgun or carry a handgun in part because they think people can't shoot handguns well, or no one can shoot handgun well, or you can't hit anything with a handgun. I'm wondering if the more he shot and the better he got at it, some of that changed.
Well, that was it, and he has a little bit of a tremor. I thought it was just nerves at first, little brother teaching big brother something, you know. But he was able to overcome that. I worked with him, some of the ROs at the range worked with him, and got him to where he's pretty damn good with it. He started out with the 380. You know, he likes the 380. That's what he carries mostly, but then he went up with the 9, he bought that. He shot my 23. He fell in love with it. And then, like I said, the AR. So I think I've created a monster.
Well, good for you. And I gather he converted on his politics also.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he's and I used to rib him. I'd tell him that he was a Democratic voter, and Lord, if the last 2 elections were some pretty good conversations between us, because he was an Obama supporter. But I told him that the things I was seeing him post on, like his Facebook, I said, you know, those are conservative comments that you're making right there. And I think he's kind of reading the writing on the wall. If Hillary gets in there, what's going to happen?
Yeah, all you have to do is every day go to the CNN website, the Fox News website, and find the latest thing that Hillary said about guns, copy it, paste it, send it. Copy it, paste it, send it daily. Because every day she's saying something about, we got to do something about guns. We got to do something about these gun owners. We got to change the gun culture. We got to look at Australia as a model that is a gun ban. We've got to reinstitute the Clinton gun ban. Because, of course, you know, the last time she was in the White House, we banned the most popular rifles in America. And she was right there pushing it on board. The last time she was in the White House. And she says, we've got to get back to that. And now her daughter is saying, well, now that we've basically cleared the deck, now that Scalia is dead, we can get some things done in the Supreme Court. We can get gun control there. No kidding. Swear. That's what she said this week. Holy cow. Lots going on. A lot of things going on. There are some events going on in California you want to hear about. Unbelievable. I mean, we're talking about possibly banning, or at least de facto banning all gun stores. It's pretty crazy what's going on. We'll have that news for you when we come back. Also, we'll have more of your range reports. 866-TALK-GUN. Call your buddies. Tell them to turn on the radio. We'll be right back.